Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine starting from scratch, like truly from nothing, and then setting your sights on a financial goal that sounds, well, almost impossible, like reaching 1 crore rupees. It feels daunting, right? Like this huge mountain you can barely even see the top of. Well, today, we're taking a deep dive into a really interesting roadmap designed to guide you precisely on that journey from 0 to 1 crore. It's a target, many of us dream of, but just the scale of it can feel totally overwhelming.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating about this roadmap, I think, is how it actually breaks down such an intimidating figure. It turns it into these clear, progressive stages. It's not just about hitting some magic number. It's much more about strategically building momentum, step by step. That's what makes the seemingly impossible, well, actually feel achievable. So for anyone feeling a bit lost on their financial journey, this offers real structure and a lot of clarity, a path forward.
Absolutely, and that's our mission today, really, to distill the most important nuggets from our source material. This 0 to euro crore, the ultimate roadmap. We want to give you a shortcut to understanding this whole journey, stage by stage, not just what it says, but kind of why each stage is crucial. So let's just jump right in. Beginning where every journey has to start with your mindset, right? So stage 1, right at the beginning, it kind of throws a curveball. It insists the journey doesn't start with money at all. It starts with belief. The source calls this thinking like a Crore party. And it's less about magic and more about fundamental reprogramming, It even suggests a daily affirmation. I will make euro 1 crore with my skills, patience, and consistency. Okay, but here's the really smart bit, I think. It emphasizes breaking down that massive 1 crore goal into much smaller chunks, like 10,000 rupees and 1 lakh, 10 lakh, and finally the crore. You focus on one level at a time, the initial target here. Just getting to that first 10,000, this whole belief thing can sound a bit abstract maybe.
But from what we've seen, it's often the real sticking point for people. Without that kind of internal conviction, the practical steps just feel like pushing water uphill, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. It really is. And that leads right into this principle for stage 1. Learn, not earn. Well, not earn yet anyway. The core idea here isn't just learn something. It's understanding that your initial focus needs to be on building high-value, high-income skills, not chasing immediate money. These are skills that are actually in demand, things that can command good rates later, like video editing, digital marketing, maybe copywriting, coding, social media management. And the source points out something important. You don't need some fancy, expensive degree for this. You've got platforms like YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, tons of accessible, often free learning resources. So this stage is really about investing in yourself and your human capital. That's your first real wealth.
That's a great way to put it, investing in yourself first. Okay. So once you've got that mindset piece sort of locked in and you're committed to learning these skills, the roadmap doesn't just leave you there, right? It pivots pretty quickly to, okay, how do we actually start earning? And that's where stage 2 kicks in, aiming to take you from that initial 10,000 up to 1 lakh. This seems to be where freelancing and side hustles really come into play. What specifics does it mention?
Yeah, this stage gets very concrete. It suggests offering your new skills on platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer.com. Think about services like, creating logos, editing videos, writing blog posts, managing someone's Instagram account. Basic stuff you can learn. What's also highlighted is using social platforms smartly. Starting a YouTube channel or maybe an Instagram page. You can monetize those through AdSense.
Right, Google's ad program.
Exactly, or affiliate marketing where you promote other people's products for a commission. And even direct paid deals with brands eventually. But the critical message here, which I think is really empowering, is this. You don't need to be famous, you just need to offer value.
That's key.
Totally. It's not about grand gestures here, just consistent service. It also mentions other side hustles like tutoring, maybe reselling things on Amazon, Flipkart, Meesho, even print on demand. And the source wraps this stage up by saying that earning your first 1 lakh rupees gives you this incredible confidence boost. It says your belief will 10x.
That 10x confidence boost sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But let's be real, the journey isn't always smooth sailing, right? Does the roadmap talk about how to keep that momentum going? Or maybe bounce back from setbacks after hitting that first lakh? And how do you actually shift from just doing individual gigs to building something bigger?
It does, yeah, although maybe not in specific setback recovery steps. It does it by pushing for a really significant shift in how you think. Moving into stage 3, which targets 1 lakh to 10 lakh rupees, the roadmap basically demands this critical mindset change. You need to stop being just a worker and become a creator. The core idea is stop trading time for money. So you move from just selling your hours to packaging your skills, turning them into scalable products or systems. That's how you leverage your value beyond just direct hourly work.
That's a really sharp distinction, worker to creator. Yeah.
Yeah.
It immediately makes me think about, how much time people can spend on tasks that aren't really growing their income potential.
Yeah.
So how does the roadmap suggest we start freeing ourselves from that time for money trap? How do we actually scale up?
Right, and this is precisely where building a team or outsourcing becomes, vital. The source recommends hiring freelancers for tasks that eat up your time. Things like editing, design work, maybe admin tasks. This frees you up to focus on the high leverage stuff: marketing, planning, networking.
Makes sense.
It's about using other people's time effectively so you can maximize your unique value. The roadmap says basically scale what's working. So if your content is getting traction, okay, post more, collaborate, maybe invest a bit in promoting it. If freelancing is booming, think about turning it into an actual agency.
Okay, leveling up.
Exactly. If a product's selling, run some ads, refine the offer. And a really critical piece of advice for this stage is save and reinvest wisely. Specifically, setting aside maybe 30 to 50% of what you earn, and strategically putting that back into the business, better tools, maybe some high-value courses, advertising, scaling your brand. This isn't just saving for a rainy day, it's saving to actively fuel your growth.
Okay, so you've hit that initial 10 lakh, you're thinking like a business owner. The next big question is, how do you get your money working as hard as you are? That brings us to stage 4, targeting 10 lakh up to 50 lakh. Here, the focus seems to shift dramatically, right? From active earning towards multiplication. The principle sounds clear. Don't just earn, multiply. What specific ways does the roadmap suggest for making money generate more money?
Yeah, this is where you really start building wealth, moving beyond just that direct active income stream. The source details a few different investment avenues. It mentions SIPs, systematic investment plans.
Right, regular investments into mutual funds.
Exactly, a disciplined approach. It also highlights index funds. You know, those baskets of stocks that just track a market benchmark, like the Nifty 50 or something. They're often seen as lower risk, good for the long term, because they give you broad exposure with usually low fees.
Passive investing, basically.
Pretty much. And of course, it mentions investing directly in stocks, but with a big, bold warning. Do your basic research, it's non-negotiable. But beyond those traditional routes, this stage is heavily focused on building passive income sources. Things like creating digital products, ebooks, online courses, or income streams like affiliate marketing, maybe YouTube automation, setting up subscription models like a paid community. It also really encourages monetizing your personal brand through things like consulting or teaching online. That's noted as having potential for really fast scaling because, your expertise is the product.
That's a pretty comprehensive look at passive income. It really hammers home that wealth isn't just about what you earn, but what your earnings then do for you. Okay, the final push. Stage 5. Taking you from 50 lakh to that coveted 1 crore mark. At this point, you've presumably got the mindset, the skills, the business, the investments. What's the ultimate lever the roadmap points to for this final leap?
The ultimate lever here, according to the source, is automation. The idea is simple, but really powerful. You can't work 24/7, but your systems can.
Right.
So this means building out automated elements, things like marketing funnels, email sequences that run automatically, autopilot campaigns for sales, and having really clearly delegated roles within your team. If you have one, this pulls you out of the day-to-day grind and lets the business operate effectively, even when you're not, hands-on every minute.
So it's about building a machine that runs itself, or at least runs very efficiently. What else kind of defines this final big stage?
Well, at this stage, it's also about creating what the source calls a signature product. Basically identifying the one key thing you're known for. Maybe it's a definitive course, a groundbreaking book, a really high-end specialized service, and crucially, putting a premium price tag on that best offer. It's not about chasing every single customer anymore. It's about attracting the right ones who really value your unique expertise.
Focusing your value.
Exactly. And finally, the source emphasizes go big on branding. At this level, it's less about just quick wins and more about building a lasting legacy. This could involve things like launching a podcast, writing that book, maybe speaking at major industry events, or even teaching your whole story and methodology to others. Which, it raises an important question, doesn't it? What kind of impact, what legacy do you actually want to build with this financial foundation you've created?
That's a powerful way to frame it, moving from zero all the way to legacy. Okay. So just to quickly recap this whole roadmap, we've walked through 5 pretty distinct stages: each with its own focus, its own target range. Stage 1, all about building that crucial mindset, getting high-income skills, aiming for that first 10,000. Stage 2, actively freelancing, using side hustles to reach 1 lakh. Then, stage 3, making that big shift to business thinking, saving smartly, scaling up to hit 10 lakh. Stage 4, brought in the investments, the passive income streams, really multiplying your money towards 50 lakh. And finally, stage 5, strategic automation, building your personal brand, really nailing that signature offer to achieve the 1 crore goal. The source's closing thought kind of sticks with you, acting as both a promise and a challenge. Making 1 crore is not a one-day job, but it is 100% possible if you show up every single day.
Yeah, it really reinforces that core message, doesn't it? That you don't need to be some kind of genius to achieve this. Instead, you just need to be consistent. Consistent in your efforts, curious enough to keep learning, and yeah, bold enough to actually take action consistently.
So thinking about all this,
Yeah.
what does it mean for you listening right now? What's maybe one tiny step from any of these stages we talked about that you could possibly take today to start, or maybe just continue your own 0 to a crore journey? Perhaps it's just, I don't know, committing 30 minutes to learning a new skill, or setting up a profile on a freelancing site and just bidding on 1 small gig, or maybe even just researching the basics of what an index fund actually is. The journey really does begin, and it continues with that very first intentional step you decide to take.